for joining us. So welcome to the March meeting already of the CAC. This is obviously still in Zoom, but we have great news actually. This is probably the last meeting that we're going to have in Zoom. And for the next meeting, which is April 6th, we're finally going to get to see each other in person and in one of the district buildings, usually Brown High School. So please, think about it. We're finally going to be able to just actually have round tables and talk to each other and see each other as a group of parents, school administrators, support groups. It's going to be amazing after 2 years of being able to meet on Zoom, which is also great, right? Because we don't have to drive, we don't have to park, we don't have to do a lot of things. But in person, the richness of meetings in person is very important for us as parents. So that's one of the first announcements that we have. The second is that we will have still a full calendar for the rest of the year. And one of those will include a candidates panel. So we're thinking April or May, we're going to have the opportunity to talk to the candidates for the Board of Education. And we will love the input from the community so we can ask the right questions and really make sure that the Board of Education is aligned with what parents need. The third one is that we are a group of parents that at the end of the school year, we present recommendations about the special education or experiences and just feedback to the Board of Education and the district. So we are going to have a few separate sessions. We're probably going to request that some of you parents join us in Zoom and in-person meetings so we can brainstorm, we can ask the right questions, and we can come up with our experience and see what we can bring to the table that can be positive and valid feedback. So the guidelines of special education are shaped to help our students, and the parent perspective is very important. So those are 3 things that we have coming up. And we would love for every single parent to join us in this group so we can come up with very strong and valid, important recommendations. So this is, again, almost, we only have 2 more meetings after this one. And then by June, we'll be presenting to the Board of Education these recommendations. Today, we have a very good and packed agenda. We're going to start with a presentation very close to our hearts about how do we help our kids grow, that we may not be yet there. So we can just help them grow at their own pace. So that's what growth mindset for us means, mentalidad de crecimiento, and we will have a great presenter for that. After that, we will have one of the support agencies in the community, not from the district. It's Assistive Technologies for Special Education, but this organization called Task. It will be great. We'll have a little bit of an ad from Cap Nugget, and then also a very rich presentation from Long Beach Unified School District for budget engagement presentation. And hopefully we will make the time to have a public comment again this time. So very quickly, I just want to really, really appreciate that quite a few people from the district are here and also members of the Board of Education. I'm starting to see them join. Thank you so much for joining our meetings. And with this, I want to pass it out to my friend Katie so she can introduce the first speaker.
Okay, so I have the great pleasure of introducing Aac, I'm going to say Schloter. I don't know, probably not getting that right. But anyway, she's going to present tonight on growth mindset. It's something that is near and dear to my heart as I'm trying to help my son go from a fixed mindset to more of a growth mindset, and basically learning how to change the way we talk to our kids so that they know basically more praise in the process, and just helping them know that, basically they can do whatever they put their minds to it. But anyways, thank you very much, Aac, for coming today to speak to us.
Well, I am so excited to be here, and you got my name almost correct, my last name, but it's a tough one. So it's Aac Schottler. I am from Long Beach Unified School District. I'm a K-5 math coach. As you guys know, math has really changed in the way we teach it. And along that, growth mindset has come up a lot. Part of my coaching is doing professional developments like this for our teachers and coaching and with students as well. So before we get started today, I know it's 6 o'clock, you're tired. Maybe you're energetic, you had a second cup of coffee. I want you to go ahead and look at those pictures. And if you can, have some fun with me, go ahead and pick a picture and tell me why. I'll go ahead and go first. I'm gonna pick number 2 because I really need some coffee today. I think I had about 3 cups. I also love the hearts on the top because coffee warms my heart. So hopefully go ahead and open up the chat, and I just want to see what you guys are feeling like today or which pictures you like. One, thank you, Kinga. Thank you, Jacinda. 4, oh, the rain, no. I love the colors of fall, me too. Always coffee, yes. I'll wait a couple seconds for a couple more. Oh, number 1, it does look peaceful. Wouldn't you just like to walk down there? That's what it's gonna be like being in person, right, Magda, is that number 1? Right now we're in the Zoom, number 4, maybe 3. So much joy in the little things. Thanks, Rochelle. Coffee, Dr. Ken, somebody after my own heart. All right, and if you could, appease me again, I just want to know who's in the room. So in the chat, go ahead and type your name and tell me something that brought joy to you today. Oh, almost finished with report cards. Yes. I remember when I first started doing from paper to online, and it took hours longer to do. So I'm glad that that's there. I'll wait a couple more for some to come in. Sometimes it takes a while. Oh, drinking some hot tea. Yes, Cindy. Oh, yes. Helping others. Oh, good health news. Yay. That brings me joy. Waking up this morning. Absolutely. All right. I got to know you guys a little bit. Time to get to know me. I want to play something fun with you. It's called 2 Truths and a Lie, or If a Lie Offends You. It's a fib. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting working with my community. Yes, Maria. Sorry. That's exciting. Now I'm in 2 places at once. So 2 truths and a lie is to get to know me a little bit more. If lie offends you, we'll say find the fib. I'm going to have 3 statements. One of them is not true and the others are true. And your job is to find which one is false or a lie. So here goes. Statement number 1, I fell into a crocodile pit. Statement number 2, when I was 8, I was told that I had no chance of a higher education. Statement number 3, I have 2 children. Go ahead and take a look at that and tell me what you think is the lie. Just put in the number 1, 2, or 3. Votes are coming in. We got an alarming number of 1s, some 3s in there. Hola, Gloria. All right, 1s, mostly 1s and 3s. People are not falling for that number 2, it looks like. I don't see any 2s. So, all right, let's see. Let's start with the truths. Oh, thank you, Erin. 3. All right, I love it. Oh, so exciting. Okay, so I have, in fact, fallen in a crocodile pit. I know, Magda, I love your face. I was born and raised in South Africa, and they had a new park opening called Croc World, and it was feeding time, and crocs don't jump or anything, so the gate was pretty small. And when feeding time was announced, people rushed the fence, and I fell over into the fence. However, luckily my uncle was right there to just pick me right up and move me across. And as you can imagine, whenever my family gets together, this story is often retold, but it often gets like bigger and bigger. And I believe the last time it was told, my uncle pulled me almost from the jaws of the crocodile. Number two, then is also a truth. I was told that I wouldn't have a chance of higher education. I actually don't remember this. All I remember was that when I was in school, school was hard. It wasn't until recently that I was talking to my mom about my son. And she said to me, Zarique, if I believed what the school had said about you when you were younger, I would have never imagined being where you are and who you are. Emmett, my son, can do whatever he wants to be. He just has to be like you and work hard. Which brings me to number three. I have one son. His name is Emmett. He's also on the spectrum, as Katie mentioned, for her son. And he's taught me so much and has humbled me in ways that I can't even begin to explain. He has forever changed me as an educator. And so today, as I speak about growth mindset, I'll be sharing some of the stories that I've encountered with him and some of the strategies that's helped. So hope that was a little fun, a little bit more about me. I have been teaching for 20 plus years. I just became a national board certified teacher this year. And I currently work for the Long Beach Unified School District, writing math curriculum for 3rd and 4th grade. And I have my master's in curriculum and instruction. So there, for those people who said I couldn't do it when I was 8. So today we will talk about the what, the why, and the how of growth mindset. So before we get started, I'd like to see your knowledge that's in the room. That helps me know whether to go faster or slower. So I just want you to rate yourself. 1 being, I've never heard of growth mindset, apart from what you just said today. And 5 being, I'm an expert and I would like to work with Carol Dweck. Go ahead and put those numbers in the chat, please. Okay, so thank you for sharing. I have a lot of 4s in here, so maybe I'll learn something from you guys. That's exciting. And 3s, and there's a couple 1s in there. So I have put enough time for questions and answers and reflections. And in our office, we always say the answers in the room. So based on those numbers, I hope that you can also help answer some questions today. There's also a participant copy linked in the YouTube chat, and Magda is also going to put those in the other resources available for you. So just want to let you know that those resources are there for you if you liked anything in this presentation and would like to read a little bit more or just review it. All right, so before we get started, we had some 1s. Who's Carol Dweck? She's an American psychologist. She's the Lewis and Virginia Eaton Professor of Psychology at Stanford University. And Carol Dweck is known for her work on mindset. I put the little book that she wrote, not little, I put the book in there. It is a little picture, but it's a great book. Today we'll be sharing some of her research as it pertains to our children and some of the ideas and strategies that we might use in our home surrounding growth mindset. So I was going to take us through this little video of Carol Dweck and how she introduces growth mindset. And basically, Carol Dweck, now I'm on a first name basis with her, mentions that we are all learners. From the time we are at birth, we learn. And our brain is a muscle and has the capability of continuing to learn and grow. The idea is that we are not born with finite or a small amount of ability. So for example, I'm smart because I was born that way. Carol Dweck believes that if you do not have the talent or the skill, you can practice. And if you believe you can do it, and the more persistent you are, then you can actually do it and your brain actually grows. So she also shares research that she's done. In this one, they studied some 7th graders and 10th graders who were going into the next grade. And they were given one group was given study skills, and the other group was given study skills and growth mindset. As you can imagine from her research, the students that were only given study skills went down in scores, while the students who were given study skills and growth mindset skills increased in their scores. So she has a lot of research, a lot of studies that she has done that confirms this belief in growth mindset. So to wrap it up, a growth mindset is a belief that the brain can grow and change, and that students don't enter school with a set of unchangeable strengths and weaknesses. We can change it. So I want you to go ahead and look at this chart. There's 2 kinds of mindsets. There's a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. So I just want you to take a look at those. I'll go ahead and read them to you for the interpreter. A growth mindset is, I can learn anything I want to. When I'm frustrated, I persevere, I keep going. I want to change myself. When I fall, I learn. Tell me if I try hard, if you succeed, if I'm inspired. My effort and attitude determine anything. A fixed mindset is the opposite. I'm either good at it or I'm not. When I'm frustrated, I give up. I know that all too well from my son currently. I don't like being challenged. And when I fail, I'm not good. Tell me I'm smart. If somebody else succeeds, they feel threatened. So as we work with our students who are frustrated, they might not feel like they have to try hard. They just want to be smart. We want to move their fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And today we're going to share some ways that you can do that. But before we share that, I wanted to share one more slide with you that talks about this growth mindset versus fixed mindset, because it talks about the behaviors that might start happening. So if you have a fixed mindset, you might want to look smart. So you want to, your value is in how smart you look and feel. You don't like to put in a lot of effort because I'm smart. I don't have to do it. And they don't know how to handle setbacks. So they might lie or consider cheating on a test. And last year I had firsthand experience with this and actually thought my son's self-esteem was suffering. Like he didn't think well of himself. His teacher called me and, he cheated on a test. And I said, well, he's just got so much anxiety. But as I started to think about it more, I was like, it's his mindset. So we've been working on not praising him for being smart so that he's not afraid to, because that's what I used to think. Well, he has a low self-esteem. He just wants to be smart all the time. So I keep telling him he's smart. And we'll find out that that was the absolute wrong thing to say to him. So on the other side, the behaviors I'd like to see from my son is when you have a growth mindset, you view challenges as an opportunity to grow. They value mistakes, and mistakes, you might hear them say, mistakes are my friend. So I'm going to go ahead and I shared a lot of information with you about a growth mindset and a fixed mindset and why it's important for students to have that because they can actually grow and change. And this is our first opportunity. Go ahead and type in the chat, put a plus sign if that was helpful, or money if that was new and useful information, or question. If you have a question for me right now about what we just went over, go ahead and put that in the chat as well, please. Robin, I noticed you had a question. If you want to type it or unmute.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I did have a question. First of all, I love your presentation. And I just think that, like, as you're reading that fixed mindset, it felt so much about less about my kid and more about the system he is in, the education system, and the support and services he's receiving. And so often, especially it was just report card season, which is, you know, I think we should get rid of report cards, but that's another story. But you know, it is because he's autistic. There's all these fixed mindset ideas about him and surrounding him. So I was just wondering if you had any sort of insight into what we can do about not just him having a growth mindset, but how do we make sure his environment is, or that he's seen with the growth mindset? Because that I think is the most dangerous part.
Well, and I thank you for sharing. Absolutely. As parents of students who you worry about all the things surrounding them, and you want to give them the best environment, right? Because you know those environments will share. I know personally with my son, I share these things with his teachers, right? Like, this is, and he has goals, right? So I'm not worried about all these other things. This is his goal. This is what I want us to work on together, because I know this is what's going to help him succeed. So that knowledge is truly power. My son doesn't go to our Long Beach Unified, but I know Long Beach Unified teachers have been trained on growth mindset as well. So you can mention, I went to a training on growth mindset, and I really think that my son prospers. And I don't know if you said son, and now I don't know if I'm just putting my story into yours, Robin. I apologize.
It's a boy.
Okay. So I just wanted to share that these are the things that work. So, for my son, praise works really well. So he wants to know what he's doing well. And so I have to share that with him. As soon as he gets one negative way, he's done. He's not listening to you, and he's probably done for the rest of the day, right? But we're working on that. So how to talk to him, what environment does he work the best with, right? And he has that IEP, and all those things are in his IEP. So knowledge is power to you, Robin, so that you can create that environment for him. Okay. All right. Great question. I was going to show you another video, but it's on your participant slide deck. And this is why having growth mindset is very important. It was another research study by Carol Dweck. And this time it had to do with 5th grade students. And it was with testing. But what they did, and I did not plant Robin to ask that question, but maybe it was on my mind. But what they did is that they had 2 groups of students. And they gave them an easy test. And the first group of students, they shared, they just told them, they praised them, but they praised them in 2 different ways. So the first way they praised the student, they said, "You're smart. You guys are so smart." The second group of students, they praised by saying, "Wow," they praised their effort. Like, "You really worked hard. Wow." So they praised them in 2 different ways. One, they praised intelligence. Group 2, they praised their effort. Then they went back and took a second test. This second test was really hard. We knew they wouldn't be able to pass it, but they gave it to them. The group that was appraised for their effort actually enjoyed doing the test and said, "Oh, we like hard things." While the group that was praised for their intelligence gave up. Then they went back and gave them a third test. I know, poor kids. But it was actually easier than the first test they gave them. In that third test that was easier than the first test, the students who were praised for their intelligence dropped 20 points. 20 points in an easier test. The group that was praised for their effort jumped 30 points. So I know I'm a math person and these numbers excite me, but that's a 50-point difference just in the words that you use. So why is growth mindset important? It changes our students. It changes our children. So growth mindset allows for our students to be lifelong learners. It shows them that they can learn anything. What an exciting place to be. I can learn anything with a growth mindset. Working hard pays off. Growth mindset allows our students and our kids to grow and change their brains. And it changes them from, if I can't do it now, I will do it soon. It changes the way they think. Carol Dweck calls that the power of yet. Students don't think I can't. They say I can't yet. And it's really cute. My mom came over yesterday, and my son's always been really afraid to try new things because he's afraid of failing. And so my mom asked, are you going to play baseball? Because this is his new interest, but he's a little scared. And he's like, I haven't yet. I was like, oh, it's working. So we're almost there, hopefully. And then growth mindset allows our students and kids to be the change makers, the leaders, the artists, the engineers, the teachers, and the inventors of tomorrow, anything that they want to be. And that's the future we're bringing. What amazing opportunities behold our children with this growth mindset. So, like I said, I left a lot of pause and reflect. So I'm going to do that again before we go into the how. How do we do this at home? So go ahead and tell me, was that familiar but sparked some inspiration? Was it new and useful information? Or if you have a question, go ahead and type it in the chat or put a question mark and I can call. Alicia, you gave me lots of dollar signs, like I'm in Vegas or something. I like it. All right, thank you. Lily Ocampo, plus sign. Thank you, Mary Beth. 2 pluses. All right. So, oh, they're coming in. I love it. Thank you, Pablo. All right. So how do we foster that growth mindset at home? We want our students to excel to anything they put their mind to. We want them to try hard, not just in schoolwork, in all parts of life, right? So the first thing we know from that last study is that we need to provide the right kind of praise and encouragement. We know that our kids need praise. So I know from personal experience with my son, when he's having a hard day, I find something to praise him. And I've noticed in my 11 years with him, after 3 praises, he's a completely different kid, right? We know that praise works, but we need to use the right kind of praise to foster a growth mindset. So how are we going to use praise to foster growth mindset? The first thing is we can praise effort that was applied. Okay, so I like the way you didn't give up. You can praise the strategies they use. So my son, anger, good job taking more than 1 deep breath to calm down. I know that took you a lot longer to calm down. You can praise the persistence. Wow, you didn't give up. You're working so hard and you're making your brain grow. encourage your child to take risks. So your child might say, I don't want to do that. I'm not good at that. You can say you aren't good yet, but you can practice. There's lots of stories out there that I have resources for about scientists and inventors who failed and failed and failed and failed and failed and failed before they got it. They tried hard, they persisted. Okay, Albert Einstein was the first one I heard of when I was younger. The fact that he was kicked out of school blew my mind, right? But he never stopped. He kept going. And we need to share those stories with our kiddos. Value your mistakes. Your kids need to hear you value your mistakes, right? They look up to us so much. And so we need to look at our mistakes and value them, celebrate them. I know it's what we try so hard not to do. Oh, you didn't do that, right? Right? We're going back and forth all the time. But celebrate them. When I was in the classroom, I shared the knowledge with them that when they studied the brain, and the brain we made a mistake. For example, if you touch something that's hot, your brain lights up because it's like, I got to learn something. This wasn't healthy. So your brain, when you make a mistake, actually lights up and gets ready to learn. Isn't that the most amazing thing? So in my classroom, when somebody would make a mistake, we would all light up our brains. His brain's ready to learn. And it was so exciting. But that's really what happens, that your brain lights up. The body is an amazing thing. So value your mistakes. It can even be as, oh my gosh, I need to learn not to do this again. I did this the first time, but that's how I learned. That's how everybody learns. Just that self-talk with your child around you work. I don't know. You have to do a research on that, Robin, and get back to me. And then model self-talk, like we just said, with yourself, right? I made a mistake, or let's try Robin's way. I didn't ask for directions. Next time, maybe I'll ask for directions. Now I'm totally throwing all sorts of stereotypes out there, but model that for your students. Your kiddos, they need to see you valuing your mistakes, or they're not going to believe you when you say to them, mistakes are great. That's how we learn, right? Share the mistakes you've made with them as well. So let's practice. Okay. What would you say to your child who's working on homework to foster a growth mindset? Go ahead and type it in the chat. What might you say to them? You do great work. I like how hard you're working. You're working hard with great improvements. I see you focusing on your homework. I love that you're working hard. So praise the process. Not that they're smart, but how well they're working. You're working hard. Great job. Thank you, Lashandra. So praise the process. Praise the hardworking. Let's try another one. What might you say to your child who just finished a soccer game or sports, whatever sport, to foster a growth mindset? Great teamwork. I liked how I hope you had fun playing it. You were a great team player today. You tried hard the whole time. You did it. I saw you get up when you fell and you kept running. You persisted. You were there for your team and you didn't give up. You kept making improvements by practicing. Keep it up. rather than I liked how many scores you made today, or, good job moving on to the next level. Praise where they are and the hard work that they're put in. Great effort today. Thank you, Alicia. So in that participant copy, I have a couple resources for you. The first is a list of stop saying you're smart. So it's a list of all the things you could say instead of saying good job or you're smart. You tried really hard on that. You never gave up on what is hard. You have such a positive attitude. So these are things that you can practice saying to your kiddo or students at home right now. Now, some of them are classroom minded, so you can pick and choose which ones to go through. But praise the process and not the intelligence. The other one is a list of books and movies that promote a growth mindset. My favorite is this one, Bubblegum Brain. Your brain grows and stretches. And then I have a whole other more list down here and some movies for you. And then if you want to read a little bit more, there's a couple articles linked here for you as well about growth mindset and how it helps your students. And last but not least, praise the process. Thank you, Rachel. There's a website by Carol Dweck in Stanford University, and this takes you right to the links. Whoopsies. And it gives you a couple of more videos if you want to go a little bit more deeper into your growth mindset.
Si usted quiere entrar en su mentalidad de crecimiento con sus estudiantes.
So I'm going to stop one more time.
Así que voy a detenerme una vez más para pausar y para poder hacer chat conmigo.
Thank you, Lashonda.
Gracias, Lushandra. Lushandra, disculpe.
You have a question, go ahead and put
Si usted tiene alguna pregunta, a favor de ponerla también.
Oh, thank you, Tony. All right. Thank you, Mary Beth. Robin, we'll have to talk about Gigi, because I do talk to ST Math and I can make you a believer. So my name is Aac Schottler. Thank you so much for listening and bearing with me today. My email is there. My phone number is there. If there's anything you want to reach out to with me about. Robin, I was just actually thinking of ST Math as my son was on it this morning. And I was like, you know what? I always asked him how many puzzles he did and how many puzzles he did in a minute. I never praised the process. So I'm going to try that tomorrow and see how that goes. And I will let you know, Robin. Thank you all so very much. Thank you.
Do we have any questions? Please go ahead and drop them in the chat or comments. This has been a great presentation so far, so please go ahead and participate.
Thank you so much, Aac, for doing this presentation. I've learned a little bit about growth mindset at first through parenting classes that I took through Kaiser. And she mentioned, about growth mindset with Carol Dweck and basically changing the way we talk to our kids, like you presented in that example with the 3 different tests. It's just mind blowing. Just the way you word something to the kids, it changes the way they're able to perform and just what they think about themselves. Recently, my kid, when you mentioned sports, my son actually told another kid, I suck. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So the kid came to me. He said, your son told me he sucks because he can't hit the ball. he has a hard time hitting the ball. And I thank that kid for telling me, because, I didn't know that my son felt that way. And I was able to have a conversation with him that saying, hey, you don't suck. You just need to practice. We all don't know how to do X, Y, or Z. We all don't know how. We're not born to just play baseball. We all have to practice, and that's what makes you better. And so I try to use some of the stuff I learned, but I do really value this topic, and that was a really fantastic presentation you did for us. I really appreciate it. Hopefully there's some questions.
I have one. I usually struggle between praising my kid for the talents he has and for the things that are easy on him, kind of to build his confidence. Like, you're very good at this, you're very good at that, keep trying, so he feels good at accomplishing things. Mm-hmm. And I do struggle to make him do the things that he's not good at, because I can see how he struggles and he doesn't like it, and then he's not interested. So how do we make them start with something that is not on their interest, like make them want to?
So like I said, I know the answer is in the room, so please pipe in. The thing that I thought of first, Magda, like from my experience, is starting small, right? Starting with small things that he can attain. So even if he's not good at it, well, why don't you just try it for 5 minutes, and then praise, like, I liked how you kept at it for 5 minutes, because for them, sometimes 5 minutes is a really long time. And then, do you want to try again? Let's see if we can go for 10 minutes, and then keep going. What I really found that helped with my little guy is sharing what his brain is doing, like telling him exactly what his brain is doing, that it's actually growing and you're adding things to your brain as you continue working. So, he pictures these little, like, he says he's getting more wrinkles in his brain as he tries hard. But I think for my son, it was small goals, and then we kept going harder and harder. And then I also noticed that when sometimes the less I push, like, why don't you think you want to try that? I think you'd be good if you just offer it that way and just kept offering. Like, remember that one time you didn't like it, and then you tried and you tried and you tried and you succeeded? You just need that one succeed, right? And you can bring it back all the time to that one. But that has worked for me. Anybody else like to add on? Or did that help, Magda? Yeah.
Magda, you just need to bribe him. Right? Where does bribery fit into growth mindset? Because
everywhere.
As a person with a kid who knows exactly when he can ask for a break and ask for, he needs time. I'm almost completely out of money because I've spent it all on this bribery scam he's got going on.
If anything, my kid's gonna be an excellent negotiator.
Right?
Out of everything, gets something out of everything.
Puedo compartir una experiencia de pandemia.
May I share an experience with my daughter? She didn't like math, and I understood that it was difficult for her. And I was tired, and I tried to tell her, it's okay, just try to learn the basic. It's not like you're going to use algebra for life, but we have to try, and I'm going to help you achieve this goal. I'm going to help you with the struggle. And so today she's excellent. She's in advanced math classes, and she's doing really well. So we're working a little by little, and that helped a lot with a lot of topics.
That's great.
Perfect. So if we don't have any other questions, we'll be happy then to, oh, yes, Kinga.
Sorry, I was waiting to see the two questions, please. So I put it in the chat. What do you feel at making these things into conversation? Like, instead of just praising him, oh, you're trying really hard, make it into conversation. Like, that was a good game. You tried really hard. what position do you want to play on the team next time? Or just what do you think of putting it into a conversation? And also, I just find it really hard when the child who has autism to expand his comfort zone. So in your experience, just keep at it and keep doing it and see if it works over time.
So to the first question, I think in a conversation is great. And I know that just kids need to hear it more than once, right? So it's like sometimes you feel like a broken record, but I know it's there, and it surfaces like 6 months later, but I just have to keep saying it and saying it. Like, I know you heard me. I know you got it. So yes, Kinga, like keep going. Those conversations are great. There's actually, and what you said to your child after the game, if it was just that, I bet we have so many more soccer players or whatever the game he's in. Most kids quit playing sports because of the ride home, because parents tell them everything they did wrong on the ride home, and then they end up quitting. So I went to a whole talk about what about the ride home. The coach almost said, if you have nothing good to say, don't say it at all. Go home in silence, right? But so I think that's a great thing. With the confidence, I feel you, right? So they get told every day something's wrong. I've read somewhere a student with ADHD, he has a negative comment every 1 to 2 seconds. That just blows my mind. How is that even possible that you're going to get that many negative comments in 2 seconds? So for a child who hears no all the time, we do worry about their self-esteem. But we do know that praise helps their self-esteem, right? And so that's where the right praise is not only going to help their self-esteem, it's going to help them try harder, right? And as they're trying harder, they're going to get those wins. And when they get those wins, it's going to feel really, really good. And so that's what we need to get them to. They need to feel like winners, right? That's why I know when my son's having a bad day and is not feeling himself, I have to give him that praise so that he feels like attainable and that he can do something, right? And feel positive again. So, Kinga, that's how I would answer your second question is keep trying. I think it's great. I just heard about this community. I think it's amazing, that you have each other, because it's hard. It's not easy, but keep trying and know that you are doing the right thing.
And the challenge is not just do it as parents, right? Then do it as educators to make sure we're all in the same page, or kids are not listening to one thing at home and another at school, and then make it a culture, because then students will talk to each other that way. So right now we have three levels that we need to somehow make them trickle down. And for that, really, really hope that, Aac, just as you're doing this for us, the whole district, every single student and aide gets to hear it, because for us parents, we constantly have that struggle that we implement something at home that is working, but then at school, from aides, from teachers, from the schoolmates is getting that conflict on. So it's great to start, but we have a lot of work to do.
Yes, but I think it's a good start.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you, Aac. It has been really enlightening. And with this, I would like to, just in time, go to our next presentation. And Laura, I think I saw you were here. Are you ready? We have Laura Martinez from a great organization, Task, and the topic is assistive technology. So not all of our kiddos need it, and sometimes our kiddos need it, and we just don't know that the technology exists and is out there. So this is something very important for all of us and for the community. So Laura, please introduce yourself and your organization. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Boy, I just wanted to say that was such a great presentation. I was watching on YouTube and just fascinated. So thank you. That was just great. Lots to think about, and lots of things resonated with me about myself and my own child. I'm Laura Martinez. I'm the Assistive Technology Program Manager at Task, and I'm going to give you a quick introduction to who we are and what we do, and then just a really whirlwind quick intro to assistive technology, just to kind of let you know what types of things are out there to help our kiddos. So TASK is a nonprofit parent training and information center. We serve 6 counties in Southern California. We have been around over 40 years, and I have been at TASK for 24 of those 40 years. We are also a family empowerment center, and our whole mission is to educate and empower people with disabilities and their families. This is just a quick disclaimer. Our family support specialists, none of our staff are advocates or attorneys. We are parents of kiddos with disabilities ourselves. So we don't provide recommendations or legal advice or suggestions. We offer peer-to-peer support, information, and then different options to parents and to professionals. We work with a lot of professionals as well, so that they can be informed members of the IEP team and work collaboratively with schools. So on our family support side, our family support specialists or FSS folks, they offer one-on-one consultations, and that can be over the phone or right now virtually through Zoom, and they will go through your IEP documentation, assessment information, whatever you need help with, and walk you through it and help you however you need help. We also provide assistance with letter writing. We have tons of great educational webinars. I'm going to give you our website to our calendar in just a minute. And then we also provide support for military families and information resources. In our tech center, we provide assistive technology webinars, and we have a rotating menu. I think we have around 15 that are in play, and every month we offer 2 different ones in English and 2 different ones in Spanish. So we rotate through all of them throughout the year. And again, I'll give you that website information. We offer individualized online lab appointments. So if you want to see apps or specific technology or websites or need help with any type of assistive technology for your child, for your students, for yourself, whatever it is, you can make an online appointment with us, and we will meet with you and demonstrate and talk to you one-on-one about different types of technology. We also provide consultations and clinics under our AAC, or Augmentative and Alternative Communication Services. That is a lot for me to say in the evening. My tongue's not working anymore. We offer Project Communicate, which is a free 1-hour AAC consultation. We do contract with a speech language pathologist who specializes in augmentative and alternative communication. So if your child or your student uses a communication device, or you think they may benefit, she will meet with you for an hour and kind of go over next steps. If you're interested, you can email us. I have our information in the handouts. The other AAC service that I want to talk to you about, which I'm going to talk to you about on the next slide, is a new grant I wrote. And it's a professional development webinar series, but I've also geared it towards parents. I'll explain it in just a little bit. It's called Let's Talk AAC. And then finally, I want to tell you about, well, not finally, but tell you about Tech Connection, which is our online social communication life skills group. And that's for ages 14 and up. We meet every Wednesday, not every Wednesday, the 3rd Wednesday of each month at 4 p.m. We meet for an hour online, and we go over different topics every month. We play games. We have, it's just a great time. It's my absolute favorite program that we offer. And then we have tons of information and resources if you're looking for any type of information that has to do with assistive technology. So our Let's Talk AAC webinar series, when Ability Central is our grantor, and when they came out with the request for proposal, it said that they wanted us to do professional development around AAC. And so when I wrote the grant, I wrote in parents, caregivers, adult consumers, professionals, because all of us need to work together in order to get the best outcome for each individual communicator. So the list of trainings that we're going to be offering, the first one is actually a week from Friday. It's called Let's Talk AAC, and that's our introductory webinar where we'll go through all things AAC. And then the second one is called AAC Parents and Professionals Working Together. And in that one, we'll give tips and tricks, ideas for working on communication goals at school and at home and bridging that gap so we have it across the day. The third one is called AAC for Transition Age Youth and Adults. And that one will focus on, you can guess. And the reason we're doing that one is there are a lot of kiddos that fell through the cracks and don't have any sort of communication, or they aged out of school and no longer have their communication device or whatever system they used. So we want to help with ideas and options for that age group. And then the fourth one, which is my favorite, is called Aac Ask the Experts. We have 2 lifelong AAC users, adult AAC users, that along with our speech language pathologist are going to answer questions, frequently asked questions and live questions regarding AAC and use and how they feel and things like that. We've done this one in another grant and it turned out beautifully. So if you're interested in any of these, you can contact myself, and my information's at the end of the slides, or you can go to our calendar here, taskca.org/calendar, and you can see when they're scheduled. Really quickly, I have a monthly newsletter that goes out called Tech Tidbits from Task, and it's focused on assistive technology. Anyone can subscribe. I usually try to talk about things that I found that I think either free websites or apps that I have found useful, accessibility features, just things that parents and professionals might find useful or that I have found to be useful. Okay. I tried to do a 90-minute presentation, cut down to 20, so I'm talking fast. I'm sorry.
No worries. You'll actually have a few extra minutes, like I was saying.
Okay, good. Okay, so what is assistive technology? Well, assistive technology can be many things. It can be anything from a piece of Velcro to a $20,000 eye gaze communication device and everything in between. So this is just the federal definition as defined in the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. So basically it's any item, piece of equipment or product system, whether acquired commercially off the shelf, modified or customized, that's used to increase, maintain, or improve the functional capabilities of children with disabilities. So if you think about that, that's a lot of things. So the term does not include medical device that's surgically implanted. So no cochlears, it doesn't work for that, but anything else. So when I explain assistive technology or talk to someone about assistive technology, I like to envision an umbrella, because it's really an umbrella term. When you say assistive technology, there are so many different types and things out there. So I'm going to do a quick slide on each of these things, but I just want you to know that under assistive technology, all these different categories fall. So Educational and learning aids. So we're going to talk about some low-tech supports, handheld devices like calculators or talking spell checkers, software and specialized application. Just at Task alone, we have 3,300 specialized apps. So that's a lot of things out there. Under communication, there's picture boards and talking photo albums and speech generating devices and iPads with AAC apps. So that's a whole huge category. And then under physical, aids for daily living, which I'm going to show you some of those. Just accessing the computer or the tablet or whatever you're using. And then looking at mobility and seating. And then under hearing, we have closed captioning, telecommunications, and assistive listening devices. And then under vision, we have, again, low-tech supports, software and apps, braille devices. They also have aids for daily living. So it's a broad thing when you say assistive technology. So the assistive technology continuum just means that there are such a wide variety of tools. So we break them down to low-tech, mid-tech, and high-tech. So I just put some examples. Low-tech could be something as simple as a pencil grip or raised line paper, a slant board, even adaptive eating utensils. Mid-tech can be something as simple as a calculator, a talking spell checker, or switch operated toys. And then high-tech, of course, you go into the software, the environmental control devices, the augmentative communication devices, things like that. So I'm going to start with educational learning aids. This is probably one of our biggest areas that we get questions on. So again, it could be low-tech, handheld, or different software applications. So some low-tech support examples can be something as simple as adapting a book. And we're doing this Friday a workshop on AT for early learning if anybody has little kids. But something as simple as adapting a book so that a child can get their finger in between the pages to turn them. You know, you can add sponges or pom-poms, or this one we added tongue depressors so that they can get in there and turn the page. That's just a really easy support. Here we have some easy writing supports. Pencil grips, and then this is one of my favorite pens. It's called the Twist and Write pen. It's very short. Put your finger in there. It's easy to control. And then the sides here are erasers, and it's just a tool, but a helpful tool. Here are some reading supports. The top one is a magnifying bar that not only magnifies, but it has a highlighter here in the middle that helps you track what you're reading. I started using these myself when I hit 40 and realized that I could no longer, and then the one below it is called the slide reader. And what it does is isolates, so you can just see one line or one word at a time. And this is cardboard here that you just pull as you read, and it exposes one word at a time. Fidgets. So lots of us use fidgets in our daily life. A lot of our kiddos. Myself, I have extreme anxiety, so I always have a fidget or something in my hand. I have them all around my work area. The one down here is a Tangle toy, but there are just hundreds of different types of fidgets. And then this one on the top right, those are pencil toppers that they're chewable, and they're made to not damage teeth. Because a lot of our chewers, you don't want them chewing on, pens or something that's going to hurt their teeth. And then this is another chewable item here. Specialized scissors. There's all kinds of adaptive scissors. Sometimes it's easy to press down, but pulling pulling back up is hard, or, you know, depending on the user, we have all kinds of different adaptive scissors. And then finally, just adapted writing paper or different types of writing paper can make a big difference to someone who's struggling to stay on the line, or, you know, I've had kiddos over the years who write one math problem and it takes the whole page, you know, because it's hard to line up or it's hard to stay in the box. And so there's different types of papers out there that have large boxes so that we can help them line things like that up. And I don't know if you can see this very well, but this is called stop and go paper. Tells you where to start, and then you put one letter in each line. So at the end of each section that I'm talking about today, because I know we have to do it on the, you know, kind of quickly, I went ahead and put in resources for each section. So if you're looking for something specific, they're on there. But you can always reach out to me. Email is best because I work most of the time in my home, and then some of the times in the office. It just depends, but I'll always get back to you. So I put some different resources on here, including some free printable writing paper. So you can try different types of paper to see what might work with your kiddo or your students. Sorry, I saw something in the chat. I want to make sure. So the other thing under educational aids, helpful software and applications. This is a big field. So I just wanted to say that there are so many software titles and specialized apps that work well for learning disabilities, physical disabilities, and visual impairments. And just some of the subjects can include reading, writing, math, life skills, social skills, on and on. And we do offer webinars that break down the different topics. So we have like all, you know, a webinar on all math apps or all reading apps or all, you know, early learning. So we break it down. But if you want something specific, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. And again, here's the link to our calendar. My mouse stopped working. There we go. I just wanted to put two examples in here in the spirit of time, and because of what I heard earlier about not playing videos, I'm just going to explain two of the apps that I have here. I do have the links so you can watch the videos on your own, just for example purposes. But one app that we really use a lot or have found to be helpful is called Dolphin Easy Reader, and it's a free app. And it's designed for readers with dyslexia, low vision, and blindness. And there's all these accessibility features automatically built in. And what it does is it allows you to download books or any other text and reads them aloud for you, but you can adjust how it looks visually. So you can change the font color and the highlighting color and the background and how large the font is, and slow it down and speed it up. So it is available for iOS and Android. And then the second one I wanted to bring to your attention is called SnapType. They do have a free version, and then there's an upgraded $4.99 Pro version. But this is a neat app in which you can take a picture of any worksheet or document that needs to be, you know, filled in, and or you can import it to your device, like if it's a PDF file or something, and then you can immediately type on it, draw on it, and you're able to fill it out instead of having to do it, you know, with a pen or a pencil. It makes it much easier for some people, and that's called SnapType. So next we have augmentative and alternative communication. Sorry, I don't know what is up with my mouse. It's really touchy. I'm not going to touch it. Augmentative and alternative communication, which is things like picture boards and talking photo albums and speech generating devices. And this is the ASHA, or American Speech Language Hearing Association, definition of AAC, which says that AAC includes all forms of communication other than oral speech that are used to express thoughts, needs, wants, and ideas. So we all use AAC every day when we make facial expressions or talk with our hands and make gestures, or when we use symbols or when we write. That's all AAC. And so AAC can include low-tech items like letterboards, picture books, PECs, mid-tech devices like single or multi-button devices that are typically static communication devices. And what that means is that whatever the layout is, you have to physically change the paper yourself when it's mid-tech. And then high-tech devices are typically dedicated speech generating devices, or an iPad or an iPod with communication apps. And again, I put in resources just so that you would have them for AAC device vendors and AAC app vendors. This is by no means, an exhaustive list, but I put in the most commonly used vendors. Next are physical supports, and physical supports can be used for many different reasons or many different situations. And those can include things like aids for daily living. So here we just have a cup with a built-in straw and a lid. So now a child doesn't have to, chase the straw around and try to hold the cup, things like that. This is a computer with a touch screen. And then this is foot bands here that you put on your desk, so that the child can put their feet on there. Instead of swinging their feet or bouncing around, they can put their feet on there, have support, and just kind of bounce if they need to. So physical supports include alternative access, which basically means if you can't use a regular mouse or keyboard, there's other ways to access the computer, the iPad, or other things. So here we have a switch adapted toy. So you just press the switch and the toy will move instead of having to turn on the little button. We have a head mouse. This is controlled by a little reflective dot you put on your head, and that controls that mouse. Joystick, trackball. This is just a single button mouse, and they're so helpful for people with physical either fine motor issues, because sometimes I've seen kiddos struggle to get that mouse pointer right where they want it, and then they accidentally hit the right click button. And it's frustrating because sometimes they can't get it back and can't hit the left click button. And then there's all kinds of different adaptive keyboards, large, big keys, ones for vision that stand out, all different. They even have ones that are arranged instead of the QWERTY order in the most frequently used letter order, if that wouldn't be confusing. Some aids for daily living can include things like adaptive eating utensils, drinking devices, dressing devices, things like that. Down here, we have something called the Easy Hold, and it's just, it comes in different sizes, and it's just a strap that has 2 holes on the end, and you can literally attach them to, well, as you see here, there's markers and toys and toothbrushes and things, but they even have big ones you can attach to a cup and things like that. Sometimes those kind of supports is all somebody needs. Up here we have the time timer, which is a visual representation of time. So a lot of our kiddos, you tell them 10 minutes. Well, what's 10 minutes? Okay, So this, you can visually see that 10 minutes ticking down. And there are all different ways to do that. These, I love these shoelaces. These are basically little swirly shoelaces you could put in the shoe. And what it does is it makes tie shoes into slip-ons. So you don't have to worry about tying your shoes. And there are all different kinds. So I just wanted to give you an idea. And then for electronic aids for daily living, there are things like, this is a diabetes watch that tells when you're, tells your blood sugar, and our good old Amazon Echo, that does all kinds of great things for us in our daily living. I went ahead and included some resources for ADLs and alternative access equipment. Again, if you have questions on anything, feel free to hit me up. Devices for hearing impairments. So when you talk about assistive technology for individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing, they usually fall into one of three categories. This is not the be all end all, but it's usually something to do with telecommunications, assistive listening devices, or alerting devices. So under telecommunications, a huge form of communication in the deaf community, or with the hearing person and a deaf person that doesn't know sign language, is chat, text, chat, telecommunications. They also have great phones, and in your handouts, if you click, there's videos here. If you click on this telephone here, but what this does is translates in real time visually what the caller is saying. Here we have an assistive listening device called the Pocket Talker, and how that works is this is a microphone here. You turn it on, you can lay it on your desk in front of you. They have more sophisticated ones where you can clip them on, like the speaker or the teacher's clothes, and then the person can wear earbuds, headphones, whatever works for them, and the voice then goes directly into their ears, and it really helps with not only hard of hearing but also with ADHD, auditory processing, hearing somebody talk right in your ear. It helps filter out all that background noise. And then alerting devices, they have some really neat ones. They have watches that can go on your wrist, that when the doorbell rings, your watch vibrates, or when the baby cries. They have things you can hook up to lamps and alarm clocks, where your lights flash when your alarm rings. This alerting device, you put this little disc under your pillow, and there are all different things that you can program in. And so this is saying smoke. So this would vibrate and say your smoke alarm's going off, or there's someone at the door, or the baby's crying, or the phone's ringing, whatever that is. So that would be like an alerting device, but there are so many different other ones. And then assistive technology for blind and low vision individuals. There are so many vision accommodations and tools. So I just wanted to list some of the different things that are out there. So lots of software and apps. Probably the most well-known software for individuals that are blind is called JAWS, which stands for Job Access with Speech. And what it is a screen reader. So it reads everything on the screen, tells you where you are on your computer, and then with different button combinations, keyboard combinations, then it reads, your email or whatever it is that you need read aloud. Lots of great handheld devices, aids for daily living, low-tech items, magnifiers, canes. Here we have the Amigo Magnifier, and you can put it over anything. So it can be pictures, you have someone with low vision and they're trying to see a picture of somebody, or read a medicine bottle label or something small. Not gonna lie, I use a magnifier on my phone to do those things. But the Amigo is neat in that you can take a picture of a menu and read it, enlarge it. You can invert the colors. You can have it in live color. It's really a neat product. And again, on your handouts, you'll have a link to the video. Next to it, this is a GPS device for someone who is visually impaired, but it is also a book reader. So you can download digital books and have them read back to you, you know, with headphones or earbuds, but it also has a built-in GPS, so you know where you are. A low-tech or aid for daily living is, this seems so silly, but this cool pen called the Bold Writer is like a Sharpie, but it doesn't have the bad smell, give you that instant headache. It has no smell to it. And what's nice about this is someone with low vision, a child with low vision, if you have, if you're trying to work on writing, you can simply use the Bold Writer to make darker lines for them to write on. For an adult, maybe you want to use it, that bold line, so they know where to sign, where to put their signature. So things like that, little low tech, things like that can be super helpful. Here are some resources for deaf and hard of hearing products and blind and low vision products. Again, if you want to know more about anything, please let me know. This is just my little, not disclaimer, but I have to throw in, just to please note that if you're going to use, you know, if you want the right assistive technology for your child or your student, an AT evaluation should be done either through your school district or another entity, depending on the AT user and where they are in life. And during the evaluation, the assessor is going to look at technology. They're going to match that technology to the individual user by trying out different options. The only way you can find out if assistive technology is going to help you is to try it. And then once the AT is recommended, training is going to be necessary for not only the child, but for the parent and school personnel. Because if you have technology and nobody knows how to use it, it's not going to do you any good. So, boy, I did that quick. I have, if you wouldn't mind filling out our workshop evaluation form, we do put you in for a $25 gift card for a drawing each month, because I do appreciate you taking the time. Please be sure on SurveyMonkey to go in, and when you answer, to put in your email address, because that's how we pick the winners. So you want to make sure your email address is in there. And I have it in English here and in Spanish here. And then we have QR codes for both. If you have your camera, you can just aim it right at the screen. This is the English one, and this is the Spanish one. And I'll leave that up for just a minute. Actually, I'll go back to it. I just want you to know you should have a link to the handouts in both Spanish and English. And if you have any questions, feel free to call our tech center or email us is probably best. I'm Laura Martinez, again, the Assistive Technology Program Manager, and my AT specialist, Elizabeth Ortega, is just phenomenal. And she does provide all of our trainings in Spanish as well. And she will be glad to help you with anything that you need help with. She's just an amazing individual. And then if you can't make our trainings for whatever reason, because we're all parents and busy, we do record them and upload them to our YouTube channel so that you can view them there. I know it's just hard to get to stuff. So I want you to have access to that information.
Thank you. And we will post it on our social media on Instagram as well. So we will have more responses.
Perfect.
So thank you very much, Laura. It's has been great. This is like really important. My kid is already using a few of these things and I didn't even have a name for it. But now I know. I mean, that pencil that you had, we call it the rocket pencil, and he loves it because it's a rocket. So
isn't it great? I actually use one myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're very welcome. Thank you all so much for having me. Again, if you have questions, please feel free to give me a call.
Okay.
Or email me.
So I know we have Melissa somewhere in there already. Is Melissa, Dr. Melissa, they're ready about Camp Nugget?
Yeah, hello. Yay. I'm ready. Greetings all. Good evening.
Welcome back.
Yes,
the floor is yours.
Back for more. Hello all. Hi families. And I do know that Dr. Amanda Young's probably going to jump on and join me here in a minute as well. She is our other adaptive physical education. Oh, there she is. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Great. We are here to talk about Camp Nugget. It is our summer camp for children 5 to 12 years of age with disabilities at the campus of CSU LB Long Beach. We're in our 52nd year, and we would love to have some of your children join us. We also have opportunities for junior counselors, which will be individuals who are 13 to 21 years of age, and junior counselors can assist with leadership opportunities like setting up equipment, assisting the campers as needed. We have a short video, if I could screen share here and show you about Camp Nugget. And then I'll take any questions. So am I okay to screen share? I think I am. All right, here we go. So quick 2-minute video on Camp Nuggets. And then would love also to hear from some of the parents here at CAC who's maybe had their child at Camp Nugget before.
There's not a whole lot of programs out there for children with special needs. The great thing about Camp Nugget is it really honed in on the skills that they could do, and the teachers knew how to modify and adapt activities to fit their levels and to make them feel successful. And the swim was amazing. Literally, Camp Nugget is how my boys learned how to swim.
To me, the most rewarding thing is when I see 45 to 50 kids moving. We provide health-related fitness, activities, fundamental motor skills. We also do cooperative games where they have to learn to socially interact. They have a structured swim lesson for 30 minutes each day. Around all these activities, we're providing positive behavior support. And so everything we do is built on positive interventions and to motivate them to be physically active. I have about a staff of 23 university students, all who are studying to be adapted physical educators.
It's giving the university students a chance to really discover if this is their passion and figure out how to make it their own and really get that experience and getting comfortable with the kids.
If you have a child that you want to increase their social skills, then this would definitely be the program. This gives them a chance to be themselves, to grow, to come out of their shell. It's really preparing them to become independent.
I think it's showing kids that they can do things that they might not otherwise have the opportunity or motivation to do, just to be around other kids doing similar things.
The children are 5 to 12 years of age, and when they reach 13, what happens then? And so we have a junior counselor program.
They basically assist the counselors. So they're helping set up the activities, working with the kids.
When you've been someone who people have been taking care of you your whole life, and now they get to actually do the caretaking of other people and really feel confident, and just seeing the growth throughout their years, it's been amazing.
All right, so that was Camp Nuggets, yay. And again, Camp Nugget is for children 5 to 12 years of age, and we'll do junior counselors 13 to 21 years of age. The dates this summer will be June 20th through July 15th. We go from 9 a.m. until noon each day. We have approximately a 3-to-1 camp to child, I guess staff to child ratio. And as you saw from the video, we do all kinds of fun, fundamental motor skills, yoga, lead up games and sports, and of course, everyone's favorite, aquatics. Dr. Young, anything else you wanted to chime in?
Yeah, we're just so excited to have everyone back on campus for this face-to-face event. And not only is it great for your children, but it's also great for our students. So I'll be teaching a summer class to Long Beach students that goes along with the swimming portion of camp, and just that advocacy piece where we're teaching students who are going to be teachers how to interact, how to work with children with disabilities. It's such a win-win for everyone involved. So we hope you sign up and bring your kids and let us love on them this summer.
Thank you.
And we'll open it up to any questions or parents who want to share any stories that they've had about their child coming to Camp Nugget.
Actually, I just have a comment. It looks like I'm going to have to choose between summer school for his extended school year and the camp. It's usually like on the same period of time, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry for that.
So maybe have an evening one, and we can make both of them.
Send them to camp, Magda. Send them to camp.
Yes, I know. Well, my kid actually loves the summer school, the extended year school. So it'll be his choice. But thank you very much, Melissa, again. Obviously, we will share that information as well on our social media. And now we are just in time to turn it over to the district. So we have the budget engagement presentation. Do we have the speakers ready?
Yes, so just quickly, again, we want to introduce Dr. Lucy Salazar. She's here with a team of people from the district. We have, I think, Renee is here, James Suarez, George Sy. So they're here to talk to you about the budget engagement process and make sure our CAC parents are involved in this discussion as well. So take it away.
So good evening, everybody, and thank you for this opportunity to share with you. I'm happy to say that we have a team today to be able to present something that we think is fairly important to the community. And we've taken this show on the road, as you might say, to so far, I think this is the 4th parent group that we've met with, and we're scheduled for a lot of different parent groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and we have a short presentation that we'd like to present to you. But also we have a call to action. And so I'm really happy to begin this, and then I will have our colleagues chime in, and then we have a call of action that we need your input, and we're looking for a lot of input. So can I have a thumbs up, Lucy, if you can see this? Awesome, thank you so much. So my name is James Suarez. I'm the assistant to the superintendent. And we're doing something this year that's never been done before, which is the school district is required to do a mid-year Lcap update. And I'm not going to use Lcap. I'm going to try and use what it's really known as, which is Local Control and Accountability Plan. I'm sure you've heard that many times before, but it is commonly known as the Lcap. And now I have some, there we go. And this year is the first year that the district is required to produce a document that shows where we are currently with last year's approved Lcap, meaning we have a 45, I think actually I'm taking that back, it's 52-page document that shows all of the metrics, all of the goals and objectives, and shares with you where we are as of basically February in terms of expenditures and metrics. And we're going to go over some of them in a moment. But this is the requirement that we have to present, which we did at our a February Board of Education meeting. We had 3 areas that we had to present. One is called the impact of the budget overview for parents. And Renee is going to tell you a little bit about additional funds that were added from the state budget after the LCAP was approved. And as you know, the LCAP was approved in June. And so the district received some additional funding through LCFF that was not reported. And so we are going to be reporting, or we have reported that to our Board of Education, and we're here to report that to you as well. The second area is the supplement to the annual update. And this is a California Department of Education template that contains 5 prompts that we speak to in terms of this additional funding. And finally, what I consider probably the most impactful part of this 52-page report is the mid-year outcome and expenditure data of its current LCAP, but approved in June. And what intrigues me so much about this particular area is it shows line item by line item every single activity that was reported in the 2021-22 LCAP, and shares with you the expenses that we have currently completed as of February for every single one of those areas of support, those areas of service, those areas of materials. And so I'm really excited to present this because it's the first time we've done this, and I really believe in this because it shows a lot of transparency about where we are, and it presents it to the community in a very transparent way. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to my colleague and friend, Renee Arcus. Renee, take it away.
Thank you very much, James, and thank you everyone for inviting us here today to share some information. For those of you who don't know me, I think I've been on a few of these calls so far. My name is Renee Arcus. I'm the Executive Director of Fiscal Services for Long Beach Unified, and I'm here to talk about the expenditure portion of the LCAP update. Our slides kind of have a central big picture look at them, but as James stated, we're going to let you know where the entire report is, and there is a much more line by line information. But the information that I want to get out to you today starts with the change of the budget overview for parents. So in our original LCAP adopted in June of 2021, there's a piece of the LCAP. It's a pretty big document that talks about what the budget overview is for parents. And it talks about how much funding we're receiving as a district in our local control funding formula. So $752.4 million at our budget adoption, and how much of that funding is included in the LCAP, as James was talking about earlier, about $120.6 million. That was what we were able to adopt in the June of 2021 timeline. However, we are required to adopt our budget sometime in June. However, the state of California doesn't have to finalize theirs until June 30th. And ultimately, they do take the length of time needed to finalize that budget. And so come August, we are provided with some updates to that number. This August, with the finalization of the Budget Act, they increased our LCFF funds to about $763.6 million, which in turn increased the funding that we have available in our LCAP to about $131.8 million. What happens is this funding is driven by two things, attendance, and in particular, our local control accountability plan. The portion that is in there is driven actually by our unduplicated pupil count, our students in need, to be very general about what that is. And so if those students, what we have in our student population changes, our numbers do change. So what you can see on the screen is in the last 2 months in our projection for March, those numbers have changed based on our student population. And we now are expecting about $124 million in funding in our LCAP. And that is what we are working towards spending for this year. This, again, like I said, is a summarized version of how we've been spending our funding. So our LCAP is broken down into 5 different goals: basic services, support of schools, academic progress, college and career readiness, and active engagement. And of those expenditures, you can see to the right in the dark orange or the bar to the left of each of the goals, how much we budgeted for each of these categories. And the bar to the right is how much we've expended thus far. You can see in the different categories, the expenditures are looking just along where they should be kind of midway through the year. I will tell you, as a district, we do have a lot of expenditures that kind of happen towards the end of the year. And so they're not necessarily represented in these areas. But what we really wanted to point out is through the community engagement and the budget engagement process, the LCAP was developed, and we are spending in the same categories as we have planned. So far, we're spending in the same manner that we planned from the beginning of the year. Finally, and I'm really excited to be able to present this slide because a lot of the times, as you can see, the LCAP expenditures or availability of funds has been decreasing. However, we were able to utilize some of our dollars this year for either new or expanding areas of focus in our district. So one of the things that our high school parents might see is we have developed high school wellness centers, and we have new student social emotional learning support centers at all of our high schools with this funding. We were also able to expand our homeless and foster youth piece with new social workers. And for those elementary parents here, we have a literacy program at our elementary schools. And we were able to expand with the LCAP this year to include some additional professional development and additional material supports, which was really exciting. Our culturally responsive curriculum materials was added to the LCAP this year. And in addition, we've been able to support our EL program with some new interpreter positions. So we're really excited to keep looking at the LCAP, to keep looking at the community, parent, student, and staff feedback in order to see what possible areas we could use in our focus for next year. So what I'd like to do now is turn over the presentation to my colleague and friend, George, and he's going to tell us a little bit about our metrics and where we stand so far this year.
Thank you, Renee. So yes, in addition to the expenditures, we'd like to share some of the metrics we're able to pull mid-year and just gauge our progress along the way. We have the 5 goals that Renee referred to. Goal number 1 refers to the basic services that contribute to the academic success. We have 2 that we're sharing with you right now: instructional materials and facilities. So with that, we were able to determine that every pupil were provided sufficient textbooks and instructional materials, and 99% of our facilities were rated in good or exemplary repair. Goal number 2 was about engagement. And first of all, thank you for being part of this meeting. It shows that you are involved in contributing to our district's well-being and your students. So the measure that we show here is the Parent University online workshops. Those were presented in English, Spanish, and Khmer. And we averaged over 1,700 views for each of these Parent University events between the beginning of the year and February. Goal number 3, we won't be able to collect that information. It's regarding the academic progress of the Common Core state standards. That assessment is usually given late spring, so we won't have the results until later to share with you. So we'll go ahead and go on to goal number 4 and 5. 4 is college and career readiness. We have the number of high school graduates who enrolled in a 2 or 4 year college. For the class of 2021, 2/3 of our graduates did so. That is in line with what happened pre-COVID, and it is short of our 72% goal. So we would like to see that number increase. For our upper class, taking the AP courses, 48.7% did so. That is shy of the 50% that normally is, not too far off, but we would, just like the other one, see that number a little higher. Goal number 5, unfortunately, has been the one goal impacted the most by COVID. You can see the measures there: attendance rate and chronic absenteeism. With the attendance rate, we're typically at 96, 97%. You can see it took a hit at 90% currently. And with our chronic absenteeism, pre-COVID, it was 12.5%. That number has jumped up to 25%. And with our suspension rate, pre-COVID, it was 3.5%. It is currently at 1.7%. So those are what we can share with you now. As we get closer to the end of the school year, we'll be able to collect more data, and that information will be more readily available as well. Just like James shared with you, we do have a 42-page document that has even more metrics, so you can see how we're measuring these goals, and hopefully we'll be able to share that, again, more of the data as the year progresses. Let's go ahead and hand it over to Dr. Salazar. What do you have to plug here?
Well, first of all, good evening. Thank you, George. Good evening, everyone here on Zoom and those of us that are watching this on YouTube today. My name is Lucy Salazar. I'm the Director of Engagement, Equity Engagement and Partnerships. But I also wanted to introduce someone new to our team as well. Her name is Viva Mogi. Viva's here tonight, and she is our Director of Strategic Programs and Policy Development. Did you want to say hi real quick, Viva, so they can see who you are?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. It's my first, actually, I'm in my second week on my job, so I'm really excited that I get to meet such an active group of parents. So thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here, Viva. And you jumped right in with us, so thank you. So I'm here, and I'm glad to be here tonight with all of you because I'd like to share a call to action as we move forward in the budget engagement process. So we've heard so far from Jim, from Renee, and from George. We've heard about expenditures, we've heard about some of the activities and the impact of the programs and services that were budgeted last June. And as we continue to implement programs and services, we know that our students still need support to recover from the COVID pandemic and the impacts of distance learning. So knowing this, we want to let you know that your call to action is to help us shape what next year's LCAP and future plans for our district will look like. So the goal of our engagement efforts is always to gather an understanding of perspectives from parents, community members, community agencies, local nonprofits, staff, and students. We also call in students to give us their thoughts as well. And we view this process as a continuous improvement cycle where we plan, as we did last year, where we implement programs and services, and where we study. And part of that is the purpose for our mid-year review. Yes, it was something we had to do, but like Jim said, it's a great way to be transparent with how we're doing. We get to study, and then we continue to act on the plans as we develop them. And so we developed the budgets that support programs and services. And in the past, we've asked our Long Beach community some guiding questions that have helped develop future plans, which Jim will be able to address specifically. But our LBUSD community has shared their thoughts, and those have resulted in, and we've been able to form interventions and activities, or better yet, programs and services that were included in several of our district plans. But now is budget season. And as you may or may not know, because it may have gotten lost in a text from School Messenger, or it may have gotten lost in your email, or maybe because that happens. I'm a parent as well in LBUSD, and I'll remind my husband, did we log in yet? Did you share your thoughts? And so right now we've launched a thought exchange survey. And this year we're extending that same theme as in previous year, where we're asking the community to share with us your thoughts around academic support, social emotional learning, and student engagement and motivation. But specifically, you might ask, where can I find it? Because I may have stored it for later, I may have flagged it for later, and I haven't had a chance to get back on there. So we have this website, lbschools.net/LCAP. And that's where you can find not only the thought exchange, but you will also find in coming days a timeline to let you know where will our show be, right? Where are we taking the budget engagement presentation? Tonight, we're here with you today, as Jim shared. We've been with other parent groups as well, and we plan to be with more, and we plan to bring more to the community and hear from you. So we want to hear from you. So if you haven't logged on already to the survey, or if you have, please check back in. You can go into Thought Exchange several times, and you can see what new thoughts have been added and continue to rate the thoughts of others. So maybe after tonight, or maybe while you're here tonight, you have some new thoughts, because we've heard some other great presentations and some other great ideas that you might be thinking, oh, this would be great. This would be a great program or service for us to include in our budget planning. And so please come back into the Thought Exchange and share those thoughts. But for now, I want to also drop in this chat. I'm going to drop the Thought Exchange link. If you have not, if you can't find it in your emails, if you haven't had a chance to participate because you're all very, very busy, you can do so tonight. And we look forward to hearing from you. It's available in many languages. Specifically, it's also available in Spanish and Khmer. So tonight's call to action is number 1. Let your thoughts be known by joining our Thought Exchange. And number 2, we are asking for parents that are here tonight. You are very active parents. We're asking you to bring along another parent. Maybe they forgot to go on to this Thought Exchange and share their thoughts of what's important. What are the priorities for them? We're asking you to bring along another parent, bring along 2 parents. Many of you are in many different networks with other LBUSD parents that may not be here tonight listening to us, or may not log into our YouTube recorded session for tonight. So we're asking you to help us get as many parents as we can onto this Thought Exchange. Currently, we have about 1,500 participants. We're glad that it's more than it was back in October, but we know we can do better, and we know we should get more. So that's your call to action for tonight. The results of this Thought Exchange, as we visit different groups, will inform the creation of the 22-23 Lcap. And that plan is due in June, but there are other plans that will be developed as a result from all our Thought Exchange results. So I'm gonna leave you with that for now, because I'll be back in a couple of slides. And I'll let Mr. Suarez just share how the budget engagement is an ongoing process. So
and
back to you, Jim.
We have just 1 minute left, so hopefully we can fit it in.
What I'm going to do then is I'm going to quickly say that as a result of parent meetings and budget engagement and these guiding questions and themes, we were able to take all of the input and get them into various plans. And we're doing the same thing to create, as Dr. Salazar said, the Lcap, which is due in June, as well as the Learning Acceleration and Support Plan 2.0 we're calling it right now. But the big thing on this is that budget engagement doesn't stop. You see the through lines, because we continuously work to ensure that we hear about programs and services that are going to meet the needs of students. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Lucy, and she's going to carry us out. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jim. And I'll be quick as well, because I want to be mindful of your evening, because I know you want to get back to your families. So we mentioned before that we're in budget season, and what we want you to walk away from our presentation is not only how we've been doing with programs and services, but that we're asking for you to join in the Thought Exchange and to share your thoughts. In the chat, I'm sharing with you specifically the question that is also in that dark grayed out box in the slide. And we want you to share with us specifically as we continue to implement programs and supports identified in the Lcap, in the Learning Acceleration and Support Plan, which is another plan, and the Elementary and Secondary Schools Emergency Relief Plan, known as ESSER 3, what are additional supports that need to be considered? Taking into account that certain funds, such as Title I and LCFF, supplemental and concentration funds, require targeted supports for our highest need students or schools. And so that is really the question we're asking in this Thought Exchange. Again, we've gotten several to participate, but we want you specifically to participate and to go back in and check out what are the others saying, what are the others thinking, and rate those thoughts, so that your thoughts or those thoughts of parents in this group, their thoughts can rise to the top as well. So I don't want to take up much more time other than to just say thank you for letting us be here. We acknowledge the hardship that COVID has presented, and we just want to reaffirm LBUSD's commitment to providing programs and services that meet the needs of all students, specifically the students that we are serving through CAC. So I just want to say thank you for your time.
And speaking of thoughts and feedback, we want to open the last 5 minutes for public comments. So anybody who would like to raise their hand and make a comment or has a question for the district, there's quite a few people here that may have the answer that you need. So please raise your hand or do it through the reactions thing here. Unmute, go ahead.
Magda, can you do a little plug for our administrator meetings before each CAC?
Oh, yes, of course. Obviously, this time we try to put it everywhere as well. We are having a one-on-one session with the administrator, and it's organized by several schools. So several schools share one administrator. That's the room that we have been going on Zoom. But now we're going to have it in person. So that will be even better. So we will advertise it. Of course, it's still going to be the day before the CAC meeting at 4:30. And we're going to have like real sign-ups and real pen and paper to have your turn. And that will be absolutely great. So we have the whole month to advertise this. Yes? Anyone else?
I'm sorry, Magda.
Yes.
I missed the beginning of the meeting. So the next meeting is in person?
Yes.
And it's going to be at Browning?
Yeah.
With the cool. And Dr. Heenan, are you gonna make sure that the Browning kids cook us some deviled eggs
and some cakes? We'll see what we
and
can.
Ken Owens, I need the red vines back.
Yeah. Okay, Kinga.
Yeah. I'm sorry if you answered this. I had to feed the kids dinner. Are we gonna get the PowerPoint? Because those links that for tonight's meeting don't have the PowerPoint presentation.
It has the task right now, but we will definitely make it available. We can send it to everybody on the regular email blast. So hopefully it goes through. And if not, send me an email directly to a regular CAC meeting or anywhere in our social media, and we'll email it directly to you as well.
Thank you so much, because I didn't catch the book recommendations and the videos and all
the one for growth mindset we're missing, but I'm going to ask the speaker to send it to us.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
And
These
Kinga,
are so informative.
Kinga, those were added like within the last 15 minutes or so. So if you looked earlier, you didn't see them. You might have to go out and then click on that link again, and you can see them.
Yeah, that's when I went to feed them dinner. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Hello, my name is Sasha Cruz. I'm going to Millikan High School, and I was wondering if it's possible for you guys to help me with something at school. I have autism, and I was wondering if one of you guys can help me do something, since next month is Autism Awareness Month, and I want people, I've had a talk. I had to do a speech about autism in my Principles of Law class, and only some students came up to me, "Oh, I understand you," and I remember in history class I spoke about autism, and only one student in my history class told me, "If you need anything, just let me know." I think it's time for us, to tell kids who are typical can know what is autism and what is it about. And people are judging me now, and that's why I guess parents who have very functional kids with autism are very afraid to put them in classes, is because they're afraid to get criticized and make fun of who they are. And I guess we shouldn't feel like that way. And I think it's, yeah.
Jessica, absolutely, we would like to be the link for you to have the support. So if you could drop your email on the chat, and we'll make sure we have a strong enough group to support you and provide you with whatever we can. And of course, you're going to have a great presentation.
Thank you. I would like to thank you for asking for help, and we will definitely reach out with you with Milliken and get together with your teachers and talk about your plight for autism and sharing your experience.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, we are at 8 p.m. and I think we have finished a great and very rich presentation. Katie, you wanted to say something?
One last thing, I would love if we can have some parent volunteers. If you're interested in working on a subcommittee, basically we need to come up with recommendations for the board, what we want to present for improvements in special education. Actually, I heard Robin made one. I would love to get rid of report cards. So I haven't even looked at my kids' report cards. It's depressing. So, I mean, honestly, the teacher said, "Oh, have you seen the report card?" I'm like, no, I haven't. Because I look at their progress. But anyways, please reach out to us. We want to come up with some good recommendations for the board. We plan on presenting hopefully this in June, and we need parent to volunteer, need your ideas. Okay. All right.
So thank you, everybody. We're closing it now. Have a great rest of the day, great week.
Disculpen, hay una pregunta en el chat que me gustaría.
Sorry, there's a question in the chat which I would like to be resolved. There was a parent with a worry before we go. I know that it's late, but sometimes we let the parents behind and then there's complaints because it's not addressed. So we do have a question from Alma Gonzalez. This is the interpreter speaking. It says, okay. The thing is, they didn't accept my daughter in rap. She has a speech problem. The only thing, there was no one that was able to come up to her to help her.
So the translation back to English is that her daughter was not accepted on LARP, and she wants to know who to reach out to see if that can be corrected.
She can reach out to our office, and we can see. We just started our sessions, and so I'm sure that there's a lot of no-shows. So we'll definitely see what we can do to get her in. So our office, I'll type in my information, and then we can work with Rochelle Martin to see what we can do to get her in.
Yeah, I can give a quick little update too, as we're actually in that process right now. So we have some of our support staff calling home. Can you hear me?
Hola, buenas
yeah,
noches.
Okay.
Hello, may I ask a question, please? Good evening. Hi, good evening. I do have a question. There was going to be a tutoring program on Saturdays, and so I had signed my son up, and they had said that the kids who didn't take the tutoring that started in January, they were going to give them the opportunity for kids with an IEP, but my son, on Monday through Friday, he has his one-on-one support, and then after that, I asked for him to have this service because these classes could be done in person. The virtual doesn't help, but my son was not accepted. And I thought they were going to give him this opportunity because he had a lot of regression with the pandemic. And logically, last year, things weren't able to be achieved. And so, unfortunately, they didn't give him the opportunity. So I'd like to know, I spoke with Erica Saravio, and I'm with that right now. I don't know what's going to happen with that tutoring that they were providing. And they just told me last week that my son was not accepted.
Hi, I can hop in and say a little bit about LRAP, but I just want to make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. So we just started our second session. When we're talking about LRAP, it is the Saturday sessions. And when we shared information about LRAP back in January, we had shared that we really have kind of limited capacity as far as how many teachers we have involved in the program. So what we did is we took all of the interest available from families around having their students participate in LRAP. And from there, we looked at if they already attended in session 1, then we gave priority to those who had not attended already. And we went in order of when they completed their interest form. And so as Dr. Heenan had just shared, we just started the second session this last Saturday. And so this week, we're in the process of calling any of the students' families who they received a spot in LRAP, but they didn't show up. So if we had any no-shows, we're calling all of those families to see if they plan on attending, make sure that they have the information, and then we're filling in any spots that are available. So if you received information that your child did not get a spot in the second LRAP session, don't worry. We're in the process of trying to fill any spots for families who decided it wasn't going to work for them. So within the next couple of weeks, we should be able to reach out to families on the wait list. And we're following that same process of however they've been received. We're just going in order. So you will receive either an email based on what you had shared with us or a phone call to see if you would like to join one of the sessions. But you just got to give us a little time because we're making lots of phone calls right now in order to see if people are going to be planning to bring in their kids or if they decided this wasn't going to work out for them on Saturdays. So hopefully that helps. And if you didn't, and now I have a child who just came in saying hello.
I love it.
Muchas gracias. Agradezco su respuesta.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful for your response. For the kids that are going to get the support for their IEP and also have their support during the week and have their one-on-one, will they be able to also have that on Saturdays?
The one-on-one support. So because it is on Saturday, it's not part of the IEP process. But what we have done is we have staffed the LRAP sessions to have quite a good ratio for our students. So in most cases, we have 5 for every 1 adult instructional aid. So it's a 2-to-1, and in some cases, a 2 to 5 ratio. And in some, we have even more adults based on the size of the groups. So thank you. I'm glad I was here and able to answer.
Thank you. ¿Será posible también?
Thank you. Would it also be possible for if he has his personal assistant from the regional center that person could support him?
I can have someone else chime in, but I don't believe that we can have anyone outside of the school district joining during the sessions on the weekends. But if anybody from our office wanted to add on, feel free.
No, Rochelle, you're absolutely correct. But if we do have additional needs, we have support and aid support that we've been able to put in the classrooms. So we have to make sure that they are staff from Long Beach Unified School District.
Muy bien, muchas gracias. Buenas noches.
Very well. Thank you so much and good night. Thank you so much and sorry, but we needed some answers. So thank you. Thank you so much to everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Happy to answer. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Buenas noches.